Dolphins, Cowboys, Packers.
Right.
3 quarterbacks currently up for new deals. All under contract for 1 more year.
Right.
This changes everything.
Yeah.
And hey, Jerry, I don't really want a job with the Cowboys, but you don't have to pay me. All you got to do is watch the show. When it's time to pay one of your players, do it. Because if you wait, it's never going to get cheaper. It's always going to get more expensive. Because now the price tag on Dak Prescott, you know when they used to have the little guns and they'd have the little price guns and it'd be the little
I remember.
Yeah, that got peeled off and they're changing the numbers on the pricing gun.
They're just stapling one over.
That's right. They're just going to get a pen and they're going to cross it out and put a new number there. Forget it. Whatever Dak Prescott wanted before yesterday, it's now changed. And there's no way he's going to take anything that doesn't have a 6 as the first number.
Well, all right, you bring it up. You go Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love.
Oh, I forgot about the Jaguars.
Tua, right? Dak Prescott. I think those are the 4 most prevalent names right now.
Trevor's got 2 years left.
Yeah, so Trevor's not – and I think Trevor, I look at it and go, wait, he's kind of in his own little thing. He's the number 1 pick of the draft, right? Again, they're going to want to reward him if he plays well. I don't know if this necessarily affects his bottom line when it comes down to it.
It's the rising tide that's eventually going to get to him next year.
Right, yes, exactly. Or maybe this year. Maybe they do sign something earlier this year.
If they bet that he's going to get better, this is the time to go to him because next year it's going to be 65, not 55.
Now, Dak Prescott, I don't think it changes a whole lot. I have a feeling he was asking for a number like this to begin with, but now it just justifies it and validates it.
You thought I was crazy.
This is definitely what I'm
If you want crazy, I'll give you crazy now.
Right. So, it makes it maybe harder for Dallas to try to find some deal or whatever there. So, again, I don't know if it truly is a huge effect there. The one I get to is Tua. Because Jordan Love, I'll hit on him too. Again, I don't know. Jordan Love, if I'm the Green Bay Packers, I'd want to see a little more. I wouldn't want to just go right away here.
Yeah, I think
can you throw a number out that is low for the grand scheme of things that he'll take right now? And go, okay, I'll be cool with it if you go, okay, hey, here's 42, 45, something like that. Would he take that? I'll give him a new deal. But if he's asking for 55 or 56 right now, and I've only seen, the last 12 games of the year you played good, and now we're just going to give you a new deal? That, to me, I just want to buy myself a little more time on that.
There's also a way to do a deal that gets you new money average of 50 and is just a 2-year commitment.
Yeah, right.
It's a Daniel Jones type of a
year, but a bigger way of doing it.
Yeah, so, we've sent the message to the world that we love you, but when you look at the details, we can annul this thing after 2 years if it just doesn't work. But there's still, regardless, whatever the conversations were before this, they now change.
They change. So, okay. So we got Trevor where we go, obviously this all affects it, but we feel like Trevor is not greatly affected by it. I think Dak's number was here or if not higher to begin with anyways, but this validates it, right? Jordan, we kind of just unpack that. The Tua ones, that's the one I come
because
to
there's
go,
a lot of parallels between him and Jared Goff. The fans love him.
And the GM went all in on the Tua stuff.
He's my guy.
That as well. He's my guy, right? Wait, and look what he's done now here. We put a little talent around him. He led the league in passing yards, all of that. We're going to the playoffs. We're doing that, 2 years in a row. And I know he was, hurt for the first run there when they got into the playoffs eventually. But yeah, that's the one I look at to go, again, Miami, I've been a little critical of them this whole time because I feel like they're going to negotiate with themselves and go, hey, we'll keep paying you more. What do you want, more? Yeah, more. But where is that line of demarcation? And as we know, we still have questions about Tua, right? Almost questions like we had about Jared Goff a little bit around the first time around.
But here's the reality.
Yeah.
Goff got his second contract after going to a Super Bowl.
I know, and there's a difference.
Tua hasn't gotten past the wild card round of the playoffs.
No, he's only played in one wild card game.
And the injury issues just don't disappear because he managed to play
this year
wire to wire for 1 year.
Right.
Now, he's one of the only ones in the NFL that did go wire to wire at the quarterback position last year.
Yeah.
But it's almost like we need to see it again. And it's always going to get more expensive. But I feel like with Tua, you don't want to bet against the guy if you're the Dolphins, but it's hard not to think that waiting will help you. And he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that is going to kick in the door. He defers, he complies, he goes along to get along. And if they make him play out this year, he'll just do it, I think. But yesterday changes things because maybe he was content, but now we see what Goff got. I'm not content anymore. And then if one of these other guys does a deal, I'm not content anymore. I mean, I think Tua's agents need to be telling him, you need to get long-term financial security before this season starts. Because all you've got is $25 million for this year.
Yeah.
You can't play for that amount. We need to get there. Even if they won't give us what we want, we need to get their best number on the table before the start of the regular season, ideally before the start of training camp, ideally before OTAs. And we need to know what that is so you can make an up or down decision. Let's see what it is. Because it's one thing to say, I want X. It's another thing to say, I don't want Y.
Yeah, right.
Because Y might be pretty good.
Right.
And I may not get to X, but I don't know that anybody else is going to give me X.
Yeah, right.
Y is maybe better than anybody's going to give me. Let me see what Y is, and I'll make my decision.
I'd want to be creative with Tua, whether that's, maybe, adding another year on to what he's making right now, throw extra money at him this year to, satisfy everywhere it is. I understand, but I would want to buy a little more time, one, for the injury issue like we talked about, and two, I know that he's putting up good numbers and all of that, but everybody in football has the same question about Tua. This is not just Chris Simms being a hater on Tua or anything like that. Mike Florio's got the question. You go last night to our upfronts with sponsors or everybody else. Tua came up a few times. What do you think about Tua? You think he can lead the Dolphins through a playoff run in the AFC? It's all those types of things. Can Tua throw the ball in bad elements when it's really cold? Is he made for that? I mean, these are normal people asking these questions, let alone we know football people are wondering that or doubt that he can do that. So that's where I just would want to – I'd want to buy another year if I'm Miami, or at least not be – totally handcuffed to a long-term type of contract yet with Tua.
And what you could do is a Daniel Jones type of a deal. Yeah. And for all we know, that's what the Jared Goff deal is until we see the details. Maybe it is a 2-year commitment, and then you can say, I'm out. Do a deal with Tua that placates Tuanon. We haven't mentioned them in a long time. That placates the fans and looks good and respects him and gives him a boost. But as a practical matter, after year 2, if it's not working, we can tear it up and we can move on.
Right.
That's a possibility as well.
That would probably be where I'd look at it.
Whatever it is, though, wherever it goes, yesterday changes things. Unless we delve into the nook and cranny of the Goff deal and we say there's a lot of fake there. I have a feeling there isn't a lot of fake. I
wouldn't think so.
I'm curious as to whether or not there's an escape hatch after 2 years.
Right.
That's what I'm curious about.
I would bet that there is something along those lines. I would. And then it's also like, and great. I hope we don't have to have the escape hatch, and we're totally fine with paying him the rest of this contract for where the market's going and all that, and I understand that too. And good for Jared Goff. I want to say that one more time. Good by the Lions. The Lions are building something, special. And that's where I got into like the Dan Campbell, will he continue to be aggressive this year? Because when I look at their team, the moves, the trades they made, the moves they made in free agency, the draft, like they're no longer the Lions like, hey, we're not that good, so I got to instill confidence in us and go for it on 4th down and give us an edge. Like that would have been my problem with the 49ers game. Like there was an argument to made where I'd go, you were the better team. You don't need to take those risks. Just keep playing because the better team's you're going to win. It's going to show itself. And I'll be interested to see his approach here this year if it maybe changes, just knowing like, hey, we're good. I don't need to take some of these risks that might blow up in my face and we lose the game. Like what was the game last year? He had the fake punt that kind of blew up. It was the Packers Thanksgiving game.
Yes.
Right? They had the fake punt. The game was over. Yeah. Right? He kind of went for it and it was like, oh, well, you're in deep crap now. Now you're in really big trouble.
We'll see Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern who they play when they play. That's when it all crystallizes, and that's when you're like, okay, what do we got this year? What are we going to do? Let's get ready. And the Lions should be competitive. They should be a factor, but we'll see. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.